There is registered agent's address, and there is principal business address. What are these? And why exactly does an LLC need these addresses? In this video, we're going to find out everything you need to know about LLC addresses. I'm also going to share 2 common mistakes many LLC owners make when it comes to their addresses. Let's get started. I'm sure you know what an LLC is. It's a limited liability company that separates personal assets from business assets. It is a legal entity separate from you. So there has to be an official way for the government to reach out to your LLC. It can't just rely on emails or text messages, since there are many business owners who don't use emails or any digital tools at all. That's why physical addresses are important. And the most important ones are registered agent's address and principal business address. Let's start with registered agent's address. It is the address you provide to the Secretary of State when you file your LLC's Articles of Formation. It is the address used by governments and other authorities when they want to get in touch with your business officially. You'll receive service of process, government correspondence, and other official mails at this address. It is mandatory for every LLC to have a registered agent physically located in the state where it's formed. You get this address when you hire a registered agent in the state. On the other hand, principal business address is slightly different. Principal business address is considered to be the base of your operations. It is not required while filing the Articles of Formation in most states, but it is required when you enter into legal contracts, open bank accounts, and a lot of other scenarios. Any real street address where you can receive packages can be a principal business address. It doesn't have to be in the state where your LLC is formed. You can get a principal business address by buying an address from an address provider. More on this later. To sum up these 2 addresses, here's an easy way to think about them. Think of your registered agent's address as the super important address that receives all your legal documents. And think of your principal business address as your public address that you put on your website and where you receive your general mail. Now, if you don't feel like maintaining 2 separate addresses, you can just use a single address for both. Just ask your registered agent if they offer a general mailing service. If they do, you can just use that. Okay, now what if both your registered agent's address and principal business address are in Delaware, but you want a cool Silicon Valley address on your website? What do you do then? In that case, you can use your existing Delaware address for all official purposes. And for a Silicon Valley address, you can just sign up with an address provider. You can receive mails at this new address, so you can confidently display this address on your website. There are 3 types of such address providers in general. Number 1, virtual office. Number 2, virtual mailbox. And number 3, PO box. Let's start with virtual office. Virtual office is a real street address that you can operate virtually. All the general mails that you get are received, scanned, and uploaded to an online portal. You can access all these from your phone. And sometimes they come with a virtual phone number and a virtual receptionist. Plus, if you ever need to physically use this space, you can pay for it hourly. The next type of address provider is a virtual mailbox. Virtual mailboxes come with standard package handling, but they may not have a virtual receptionist or the option to physically use the space. They just provide a real street address to receive your mails, and that's all. They're sort of cheaper than virtual offices because of this. The next type is PO Box. PO Box is a lockable box with a unique address, located generally at a post office station. You have to personally visit the PO Box location to access your mails. They mostly don't have any scanning services, but it is the cheapest. But here's the thing, PO Box isn't very professional. It's just a bunch of numbers. People won't think you're a genuine business if your address is just numbers. So you might want to think about this. Okay, so those were some of the options to get an address. But now, let's talk about the 2 most common mistakes people make while setting up LLC addresses. Mistake number 1, using your home address as registered agent's address or as principal business address. There is nothing illegal about using your home address, but the problem is that your home address will be made public. It will be available on the Secretary of State's website and also in all of your legal documents. Plus, if you ever have to change your home address, you'll have to make all sorts of additional filings, which is just a pain. It is the same problem if you make a friend or a family member as your registered agent. Their addresses will be made public. You might save a few $100s, but it will cost them their privacy. Even if you are a digital entrepreneur working out of home, I suggest that you don't use your home address. Mistake number 2, using PO Box as your principal business address. Some states don't even allow PO Boxes to be used as a principal business address. Even IRS does not allow PO Boxes when you apply for an EIN. There is also the problem of your business not looking credible. Your customers could think that you might run off with their money. So it's much better if you use a virtual office or a virtual mailbox as your principal business address. That's all about LLC addresses. To summarize, the 2 types of addresses an LLC needs are registered agent's address and a principal business address. Both are equally important. To protect your personal privacy, I suggest that you don't use your home address for anything. You might be able to save a few dollars, but it'll give you peace of mind, which is the most important thing. If you have any doubts, comment them below. We'll try to answer everything. And if you're looking to form an LLC without having to worry about the addresses, registered agents, filings, and all of that, Start Global has a formation package with a one-time fee. You can check the link below to learn more. And if you haven't formed an LLC yet, watch this to learn more.